شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان.
We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this golden opportunity to meet this morning. We beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower His blessing on the noblest of all mankind, Muhammad, his household, companions, progenies, and those who follow his path till the day of judgment. Our viewers at home, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The focus of my discussion with us this morning is Tarbiyatul Awlad fi Insha'il Watan al-Amin. Children upbringing in creating a secured nation. Looking at this topic, we all pray to have righteous children. And we also pray to have a secured nation. Because without a secured nation, nothing tangible could be achieved. When you talk about religion, you'll not be able to practice your religion as expected. Even other endeavors, you'll not be able to perform them. As a result of this, we want to look at how Islam taught us to nourish, to train our children in order to create a secured nation. Before we start highlighting the topic one after the other, we want to look at the intent of Islam. When you claim to be a Muslim, what are you expected to gain from being a Muslim? The first one is Bina'ul Fard as-Salih. Islam intends to produce a righteous individual. As an individual, Islam wants us to be righteous. And being righteous means you have some qualities in you. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You worship Allah as expected of you. You have good character. Then you are civilized in your thoughts. Whenever you want to address any issue, you look at the issue holistically, not from one angle of the issue. The second intent of Islam is Bina'ul Usra as-Salihah, is to produce a righteous family. Without a righteous individual, automatically we can never have a righteous family. And after the family, we'll be talking about Bina'ul Mujtama as-Salih, to produce a righteous society. If you look at these three things, they are interwoven. Without an individual that is righteous, we can never have a righteous family. Because family starts from a man and a woman. If the man is righteous and the woman is not righteous, we may not have a righteous family eventually. Then without a righteous family, automatically, we won't have that righteous society. All these are pointing to the fact that Islam wants us to be righteous in everything we do. And the main reason why we talk about child upbringing is to ensure that at the end of the day, the children are righteous. As a result of this, scholars said, whenever you talk about child upbringing, we are looking for four things. The first one is Islahul Fard, to reform an individual. We all have a good and bad side. But with child upbringing, with tarbiyah in Islam, we intend to reform an individual. Someone that does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to become a believer. Someone who is not worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, worshiping other deities apart from the Creator, we want to make him to be a true worshipper of his Creator. Someone that is being found wanting in the area of character, with tarbiyah will become someone that he will be of good conduct. Then secondly, with tarbiyah, that is upbringing in Islam, al-muhafadha ala fitratin nashi'i wa ri'ayatiha. We want to sustain the nature of human being. Human being by Allah's design, they are created to be subservient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as a result of our environment, people tend to digress at times. But with tarbiyah, we want to ensure that we maintain and we sustain that nature of human being. Then the third one is tamiyatu mawahibil insan. With tarbiyah, we want to develop humans' gifts. We are all endowed with many things. So with this tarbiyah, we want to ensure that this gift is being developed through that tarbiyah. And the last one, when you talk about a tarbiyah is not what can happen in a day. So we consider what we refer to as at-tadarruj fi hadhihi al-amaliyya, gradualism in this process. So as a parent, as a teacher, we must understand the fact that when you talk about child upbringing, it's not what we can achieve in a day. It's not what we can just achieve even in 1 year. So you should consider that gradualism. If you look at the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us this approach to things. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that whenever you want to correct and you want the correction to be effective, you have to be gradual in the way you address such a correction. Now, ahmiyatu tarbiyah wa thawabuha. I want to look at importance, significance of child upbringing and the reward therein. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls our attention to the importance of a tarbiyah. Firstly, Allah says, al-mal wal-balun zinatul hayat dunya. Money and children, they are adornment of this world. When you see someone who has not been given a child or children, if you look at that person, the way he reacts, the way he or she does things, it will be felt that there is a vacuum in his life. But if you are so fortunate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow on you a child, children, automatically you feel happy whenever you see them around you. That is the reason why the Prophet of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, they called on Allah to give them children, righteous one. They called on Allah not to make them alone on this path. For example, Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wasalam, in Surah Al-Safat, verse 100, he was saying, Rabbi, oh my Lord, habli min as-salihin, grant me a righteous child. Grant me a righteous child. You know, we may want to ask the question that even the Prophet of Allah, they were asking Allah to grant them a righteous child. That is to tell us that children, they are adornment of this world. We embellish ourselves whenever you have children around you. Then also, أطفالنا هم الأمل والمستقبل لأمتنا الإسلامية. Children are hope. Whenever you have children, that is the youth, they are the hope of future. And also, والمستقبل, and they are the future for this community of us. That is another important thing we need to understand whenever we are talking about the children. Then, another area which is very important is that when you talk about child upbringing, it is considered as as-sa'abu muhimmatin. It is the most difficult task to train a child, to nourish a child. It is considered as as-sa'abu muhimmatin, difficult task. And also, ashrafu muhimmatin. It is the noblest task someone can embark upon. You know, two things there. It is not an easy job to train a child to become reformed. It is not an easy task. It is a Herculean task. And also, if you may want to feel uncomfortable, you may want to feel tired, but when you remember that, in spite of the fact that this is an Herculean task, also, it is the noblest effort, noblest endeavor someone can engage in it. And while you are doing that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. Then, al-awladu salihun, ajrun mustamir. Righteous children are continuous rewards. The parents will benefit while on earth service, After his demise, automatically he will benefit from the righteous children. In that popular hadith of Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمَ, when a son of Adam dies, انقطع عمله إلا من ثلاث, all his righteous deed will be closed. He won't have access to any of these righteous deeds after his demise, except in 3 things. The first one, صدقة جارية, flowing sadaqah, flowing charity. أو علم ينتفع به, or knowledge that people are benefiting from it. And the last one, أو ولد صالح يدعو له, or a child that is supplicating for such a person. This is to tell us that if you have a righteous child, if you have righteous children will continue praying for you even after your demise. That's why scholar says righteous children, they are continuous reward for the parents who brought them up. In the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Isra, verse 24, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about how a righteous child should be relating with his parent. وَقُلْ رَبِّ إِرْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِ صَغِيرًا. A righteous child, a good child, should be supplicating for his parents every day by saying, "Oh Allah, be merciful with my mother, be merciful with my father, just like they brought me up when I was young." It shows that if you have a righteous child, even after our demise, the reward will be there. Then also, Salahul Aba Yanfa'ul Abna. If the parent is righteous, automatically it will benefit the children. If you are a righteous man, your children will benefit from it. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala narrated to us the story of a man who left 2 orphans. And this man kept underneath of the house treasure. Prophet Musa and Khidir alayhi salatu wasalam, when they got to that very place, they stopped and they rebuilt the house in order that the children at the end of the day, they will have access to that treasure. Surah Al-Kahf, verse 82. Allah says, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. The father of these 2 orphans was a righteous man. فَأَرَادَ رَبُّكَ أَنْ يَبْلُغَ أَشُدَّهُمَا. Allah wants them to mature. Allah wants them to mature, and when they matured, وَيَسْتَخْرِجَ كَنْزَهُمَا, and they now bring out the treasure kept by their father underneath that house. Rahmatan min Rabbik. It's a form of blessing from Allah. It's a form of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is to tell us that if you are righteous, automatically your children will benefit from it. And also, child upbringing, taklifun min Allah wa rasulihi, is a responsibility from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's an injunction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Child upbringing. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it. Surah Al-Tahrim, verse 6. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you believe, ku anfusakum, protect yourself, wa ahlikum nara, and your family from a fire. And how do you do that? By training them, by giving them what is expected of them. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, وَالرَّجُلْ, a man, رَاعٍ فِي أَهْلِهِ, is a shepherd among his household. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him, how do you take care of your household? When you talk about child upbringing in Islam, what are the areas you are expected to take care in your child? The first one is physical training. By physical training, we mean what the child will eat, the shelter, then also the cloth. You ensure that the source for all this is halal. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tayyibun, is pure. وَلَا يَقْبَلُ إِلَّا طَيِّبًا. And Allah will not take anything except that which is pure. Whatever you give your child to eat, that very thing must be pure. Because eventually, if you fed such child with unlawful things, it will have negative effect on that child. Then also in Islam, tarbiyatun lil qalb. You train your child as regards his heart. And when you talk about training as regards the heart, you are talking about al-iman. You are talking about al-iman. This is what al-Imam al-Ghazali meant by saying that يَتَعَلَّمُ الْقُرْآنِ. To train your heart, the person will learn Quran, wa ahadith al-akhbar, and also the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, وَحِكَايَاتَ الْأَبْرَارِ وَأَحْوَالِهِمْ, and the person will know about the story of righteous people. If he or she can do this automatically, the heart would have been trained. Then another area is the soul. You know, in psychology, there is a difference between the soul and the heart. Whenever we talk about training of the soul, we are talking about tazkiyah to nerves. That is a soul purification. How do you purify your soul? You purify your soul by engaging in what is good and refraining from what is bad. And also, you embellish yourself with righteous character. And you move away, you shun the blameworthy character. By this, you are doing what we refer to as a tazkiyah to nerves. And the last one is tarbiyatun lil aql. You train your intellect. Islam is not a religion that focuses on art alone. It's all encompassing. Take care of your brain, take care of your body, take care of other parts of your body. That is the areas we are expected to focus the child upbringing in Islam. You take care of the intellect, you take care of the soul, you take care of the heart, and also you take care of the physical appearance of the body of the child. This points to the fact that when you mention tarbiyah in Islam, it is not one-sided. Rather, it is all-encompassing. You meet someone, they will tell you that this person is intellectually sound. But when it comes to the area of spirituality, nowhere to be found. Someone spiritually okay, but when it comes to the area of character, it's nowhere to be found. Islam does not want this type of a child. The child must be all-rounder in everything we need on earth service. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it possible for us to achieve this child upbringing. Just we have said that it is an Herculean task. It is not what you can achieve in a day. So as Muslims, we must prepare for this. We create time for this. Create time for your children. And also, you learn about it. If you learn about it, that will assist you to do what is expected of you as parents. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us better understanding, and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it possible for us to achieve this and to have the reward in the world to come. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير